A very good morning to all of you.
Good
Morning,
morning.
sir.
I hope all are feeling good, feeling fine. This I told you to think. If you think, nothing is far away from you. Everything will be very near to your fist. In the beginning, idea phone had the advertisement. Dunia mutti mein hai. The world is in the fist. If you think and decide, the world will be coming very near to you. You need not go to the world. World will come to you. Physics. Okay, let us come to the class. So tomorrow I hope all will be entering within 1 minute. So at 10:51 a.m., you see 51, 51 a.m., Stephens was more than a little surprised to see a gray regulation blanket draped around Ivan's shoulders, and he frowned slightly. He keenly looked. Frowned means keenly looked, carefully looked, and looked at the examinee more closely. But Evans, the pen still between his teeth, nothing he know, nothing he knows. So he is just simply sitting there. The pen was in his mouth. He was staring just as vacantly as before. He was sitting calmly without any answers, blankly beneath a blanket. You see, blankly beneath a blanket. Without any answers, he was sitting inside a blanket, covered with a blanket. Usage, usage, you see, blankly beneath a blanket. Should Stephens report the slight irregularity? Stephens, whether he should report this to governor? Some irregularity, disorder is seen. The examinee is sitting with a blanket. He covered himself with a blanket. It is not permitted in the examination hall, exam hall. So should I inform governor? Anything at all fishy. Anything at all fishy. Fishy here means suspicious. Suspicious. Gordon Jackson said, there shall be no suspicious things to be happened in the cell. Jackson told me. He looked through the peephole once again. Stephens was standing outside the cell. So he looked at him, he looked at Evans once again through the peephole.
Sir,
Yes,
what is gray regulation blanket?
gray.
Regulation blanket.
So Stephens was more than a little surprised to see a gray regulation blanket. That means a blank. That means he told that he was feeling cold. So he wanted to cover his body with a blanket. And he told a gray blanket was in his trunk, in his bunk. So a gray regulation blanket means a blanket with gray color which regulates his work. That is only just adjective. There is no particular separate meaning for that. That means that is why suspicion has come. That is not important. And gray air blanket is a hindrance or a irregularity for the examinee. Examinee should not be with the blanket. So it is regulating. A gray blanket is regulating, disturbing. That means disorderly. So he looked through the peephole once again, and even as he did so, Evans pulled the dirty blanket more closely to himself. So he tried to cover the whole body with the blanket. Was he planning a sudden Batman leap to suffocate McCreary in the blanket? You see, Nidhi, Steffi, Minachi, good morning. So he says whether he is trying to become a Batman by using the blanket, suddenly throwing to the invigilator. Clear now? So Stephens was thinking here he has kept his blanket on his body. Suddenly he may take it and he may throw to invigilator and he may dismantle him and some other way he may try to escape from the jail. Don't be daft. Don't be daft. Don't be a fool. There was never any sun on this side of the prison. No heating, either during the summer months, and it could get quite chilly in some of the cells. So Stephens was justifying himself. Oh, why am I thinking like this? The poor boy must be feeling cold because there are no windows for the cell. The walls are very thick and sun is not risen up. So sunlight is not coming to the room. No sun rays coming to the room. So room may be cold. So it is natural that the boy may feel cold. So he is justifying. He wanted to get away from that doubts, suspicious. Why should be a fool to think like that? He is going to catch McCleary and save himself as a Batman. How? Oh, what a foolish thought I have. I should not be that much fool. Any fool can understand that the cell doesn't get sunlight. So it is natural that it would be cool. So a man may need a blanket. Stephens decided to revert to his earlier every minute observation. So he decided, Stephens decided to keep his regular every minute watch. Every minute he goes to the peephole, he looks, he watches. At 11:20, at 11:20 a.m., the receiver once more crackled across the silence of the governor's office, and McCleary informed Evans that only 5 minutes remained. 5 minutes warning. The examination was almost over now, but something still gnawed away quietly in the governor's mind. Something gnawed away, something troubled, questioned in the governor's mind. What was that? He reached for the phone once more. At 11:22 a.m., Jackson Jackson shouted along the corridor to Stephens. So he could hear at 11:22, Jackson shouted along the corridor to Stephens. The governor wanted to speak with him. Governor wanted to speak with Stephens. Hurry, man. Stephens picked up the phone apprehensively and listened to the rapidly spoken orders without any premonitive thought, with, without any previous thoughts. Stephens went to the phone and attended, and he received sudden commands from the governor. Stephens himself was to accompany McCleary to the main prison gates. So, governor told Stephens must accompany nobody other. Stephens must accompany McCleary to the main gate. Understood? Stephens personally was to make absolutely sure that the door was locked Evans after McCleary had left the cell. Understood? Understood. So this was the order from governor. Over the phone, governor asked Stephens to bring McCleary to the main gate, not till the second gate of the corridor, till the main gate he has to accompany, that nobody shall save from there. Secondly, as soon as McCleary gets out of the cell, the door should be closed and he should make it sure. He should make it sure. Two things. Stephens told, understood. Yes, sir. At 11:25, the governor heard the final exchange. McCleary says to Evans, stop writing. McCleary, put your sheets in order, as we say in the exam hall, isn't it? Keep your papers in correct order and see they are correctly numbered. See whether the page number is written or not. Correct instruction was given there. Scrapping of chairs and tables. So after the exam, usually the scrapping of chairs and tables will be heard. Events. Thank you very much, sir. Everything governor hears through the over the phone. McCleary. All right. Was it? Events. Not too bad. Okay, okay, sir. How was the exam? Okay, not too bad. McCleary. Good, Mr. Stephens. Good. So he gave the signal to Stephens. Exam is over. Open the door. The governor heard the door clang opened for the last time. The examination was over. So examination was over. Stephens standing outside. McCleary came out. How did he get on? Do you think? Asked Stephens. Stephens asked, how did he do the exam? As he walked beside McCleary to the main gates. Oh, I can't think he is distinguished himself. I can't think he is distinguished himself. I am afraid. I don't think that he is excellent. I don't think he is excellent. His Scots accent seemed broader than ever, and his long black overcoat, reaching almost to his knees, fostered the illusion that he had suddenly grown slimmer. Curly bracket, curly bracket. The secret is opened here. For the detectives, secret is opened here. Clear now. You see here, his Scott's accent seemed broader than ever. The accent of this McCleary. Clear now? Clear? Accent of this McCleary is different from the morning McCleary. Within 2 hours, the accent is changed, became broader. Number one. Number two, and his long black overcoat reaching almost to his knees. Fostered here means created the illusion, created the thought, that created a thought that he had suddenly grown slimmer. Within 2 hours, McCleary had become very slim. Okay? Okay? Stephens felt pleased that the governor had asked him and not Jackson. There is some egoism, self-appraisal. When governor told Stephens to accompany McCleary to the gate, Stephens kept his collar high. Oh, governor did not tell Jackson. He selected me to accompany him, asked him and not to Jackson to see McCleary off the premises. Say goodbye to McCleary at the gate. And in all the morning, in all the morning, had gone pretty well. And the whole morning went on well. Well, there was no, externally, there were no any kind of disturbances. But something stopped him from making his way directly to the canteen for a belated cup of coffee. So something stopped him from making his way directly to the canteen for a belated cup of coffee. He wanted to take just one last look at Evans. So they came out and he was planning to go for a coffee. But while he was turning towards the canteen, he had a second thought. Let me go and check Evans once again. The poor fellow might have created any trouble in the, whether he had made trouble in the cell. Let me go and check it. So before going for the cup of coffee, Stephens went to the cell to check Evans. It was like a program he had seen on TV about a woman who could never really convince herself that she had locked the front door. And when she had gone to bed, often she had got up 12, 15, sometimes 20 times to check the bolts. Common thing, common thing. When Stephens took McCleary from the cell, he closed the door. Then only he left the cell. Clear. It was clear. And Stephens went to the main gate and uh, gave a and wish a goodbye and said goodbye. And he was coming back for the coffee. Till that time, he had no doubt. While he was coming back and turning to the canteen, Turning to the canteen, he had a doubt whether I had locked the door or not. So let me go and check it. And the writer compares this with a house lady. There are people among you, maybe myself, among us, there are people who always doubts. You might have locked the door, isn't it? You might have locked the door and you went to bed. After half an hour, you had a doubt. Yo, whether I had locked the door or not. Somebody may come inside. You get up from the bed, you go and once again check it. You come to the bed. After 1 hour, you again think, oh, at that time, I locked only the sash. I did not keep the bolt there. Again, you go. You will check the bolt. Clear now. Clear now. So, such kind of psychologically disturbed people, psycho persons. So here, the author is comparing Stephens to them. When he was going to the canteen, he raised a doubt in his mind whether he had locked the door or not. He went there. He re-entered Deaving, made his way along to Evans's cell. Evans's cell. So McCleary had already left the jail. Left the jail. Now here there is a grammatically I would make a little correction. There it is Evansus. Evansus. Evans apostrophe S. Really, whenever a noun is ending with the S, there is no need of apostrophe S. Only apostrophe is enough. Apostrophe is enough. From our language, from our pronunciation, the listener will understand it is apostrophe. Clear now? Grammatically speaking, when a noun is ending Jones, one name is Jones, you need not say Joneses. No, Jones apostrophe. There's S is silent. Clear now? This is grammatically, when you use it, it is correct. Okay. So this is also, we cannot say wrong. It is the ancient, early use of English. So Evansus. Usually we say, in order to show a possessive noun, we use apostrophe S. We have studied like that, isn't it? You might have studied like that. Add apostrophe S. Accordingly, it is correct. But I make a derivation. When a noun ends with S, no need of apostrophe S, but only apostrophe is needed. Clear now? Just have understand it. So his way along to Evan's cell. You see, Evan's cell. From the pronunciation, we will understand cell of Evans. Okay. And opened the peephole once more. I opened it. Oh no, Christ. Oh my God. No. There, sprawled back in Ivan's chair, was a man, a semi second Stephens thought it must be Evans. It must be Evans. A gray regulation blanket slipping from his shoulders. The friend of almost calm in its scathing contempt. And which one of you two morons was it who took Evans for a nice little walk to the main gates and waved him by? It was me, sir, stammered Stephens. Just like you told me, sir. I could have sworn.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
You missed a page.
Now we will come. We will come. I read little bit. Then you will understand. Okay. Then I will explain. Come back. I will come back. I will come back. Otherwise, it will not be complete. That is why. In order to make that sense complete, I read it. Then we will come back to the paragraph. So it was me, sir, stammered Stephens. Just like you told me, sir. I could have sworn. What? Just like I told you. You say, what the hell? When you rang, sir, and told me to, when was that? Just when was that? The governor's voice was whiplash now. When was that? The governor's voice was a whiplash now. You know, sir, about 20 past 11, just before. You blithering idiot man. It wasn't me who rang you. Don't you realize? But what was the use? He had used the telephone at that time, but only to try to get through the examinations. Oh, you see, this is the work done by the friends of Evans. This paragraph, it will be openly cleared when we come to the end of the story. So I will not explain this content now. Clear now? Clear? As a point of, we will come back later. We will come back later. Clear now? This is the gist of the twist of the story. This paragraph, it contains the twist of the story, what happened there. In an indirect, unknowingly, or without clarity, clarity means external clarity, it is explained there. It is explained there. And you see, as a flower opens by itself, when we proceed, what will happen? This paragraph will be open to you. What is the meaning of this paragraph? Okay, we will see. We will come back here. We will come back here. That is the importance of this lesson. Okay, now he shook his head in growing despair and turned on the senior prison officer. As for you, Jackson, how long have you been pretending you have got a brain? So the governor says, how long I trust you as a senior officer? Jackson, eh? Well, I will tell you something, Jackson. Your skull is empty. Your skull is full of clay. Absolutely empty. It was Jackson who had spent 2 hours in Evans' cell the previous evening. Jackson, you were there the whole previous day in Evans' cell. And it was Jackson who had confidently reported that there was nothing hidden anyway away there. And you, Jackson, told that there was nothing there, nothing at all. And yet, Evans had somehow managed to conceal not only a false beard, a pair of spectacles, a dog collar, and all the rest of his clerical paraphernalia. All these will be revealed at the end. The secret will come out. So, governor says, Jackson, you yourself told me that nothing was kept there. Nothing was kept there. Then how did Evans get all the paraphernalia of clergy? What is paraphernalia? All the materials related to. That is paraphernalia. The things related to. The paraphernalia of a doctor, stethoscope, BP machine, medicine pen, a suitcase, all these things. A paraphernalia of a mechanic, screwdriver, spanner, clothes, oil, all these things. Paraphernalia means the things related to the profession, things related to the man. So you told that the room was clear. There was no doubt about Evans. And how did he saved? How did he store? How did he save? How did he store all these clergy paraphernalia? That is a collar, beard, a long hair, beard, a dress, and all these things. How? You see, Evans had somehow managed to conceal not only a false beard, a pair of spectacles, a dog collar, and all the rest of his clerical paraphernalia, but also some sort of weapon with which he had given McCleary such a terrible blow across the head. Now you clear. Something is clear now, isn't it? Slowly, slowly, in that way, it will be clear. That is interesting. That is interesting. We are finding it out. So from the last sentence, you got some clue. You see, he had kept something with which, underline, he had given McCleary such a terrible blow across his head. That means by this paragraph, it is very clear that Evans had in his trunk beard, that clothes, collar, and a hammer. And during that time, he wore all these things in the form of McCleary, and he gave a smash to McCleary, and Evans had gone out. Keep it in your mind. That is clear from this last sentence. Am I right? Am I right? That is what we see. Clear now. It will be clear. So keep all these fragments of thoughts in your mind. Don't make it clear thoughts. Hereafter, what you get everything should be fragments, pieces of knowledge. At last, we will connect it, join it. So here, governor doubts, isn't it? Let that doubt be there. Suspense is there. So that we know that he saved himself. He escaped. From these lines, we understood that Evans escaped from the jail. But the step he had taken to escape, that is unclear. Am I right? That is not clear. That will be cleared. So here we get a clue from the words of the governor. We understand that. We understand that. Governor says Jackson had checked all the places of the cell on the previous night. And Jackson reported that nothing suspicious was kept there in the cell. Please switch on the videos. Half of the videos are off. And that is why governor scolds Governor scolds. Jackson, what a brain you have. Your skull is filled with clay. How could these Evans collect these kind of things, these clerical paraphernalia in his room? And the last sentence says he has given a blow to McCleary. That means McCleary is sitting inside the room and another McCleary had gone out. Clear now? Now, after the exam, there are two McClearys. One is gone out, one is inside the cell with head injury. Now we have to distinguish who has gone, who is sitting inside. Let us come. In this way, slowly, it will be clear. At least you should also think, isn't it? I should not say all the things to as clear as distilled water, isn't it? You also should think. Then only you will be able to know. A, a prison van backed alongside, but the governor made no immediate move. He looked down again at the last line of the German to the Headington roundabout, where you go straight over and make your way to New Graben. New Graben? Where on earth? New something. New grave? You see? You see? Governor looked at the last line of the German to the heading town roundabout. Underline. It is a clue. It is a clue. It is a signal to the Headington roundabout, where you go straight over. From there, you have to go straight over and make your way to New Graben. A direction is given. Where on earth? New Graben? New. N-E-U. New means new. Graben means grave. New grave. Never heard of it. I have not heard of it. There was a war grave somewhere near Reading, but no, it was probably a code word. Underline. New Graben, underline code word. And then it hit him. God, yes, new bury. It is not new grave, new bury. Grave is the burial place. Newbury, I have heard. Newbury was a pretty big sort of place. So the signal was given to move to Newbury. He rapped out his orders to the driver. So by that time, governor had called the van and he told the driver, he commanded the driver, move to Newbury. Newbury. Send Aldate's police station and step on it. Take Jackson and Stephens here. And when you get there, ask for Bell, Chief Inspector Bell. Got that? He leaped the stairs to his office, three at a time, got Bell on the phone immediately, and put the facts before him. We will get him, sir, said Bell. We will get him with a bit of luck. So he informed Mr. Bell, another chief officer of police, and he gave all the details. And Mr. Bell assured him that he would catch him. The governor sat back and lit a cigarette. You gods, what a beautifully laid plan it had all been. A great plan of escape he had made. He had made. So, governor thinks, once again I tell, governor thinks that Evans wearing the clerical paraphernalia, long back, black gown, beard, and all these things, Evans had already left the jail and he ordered or informed Mr. Bell with a code address to find him. The governor sat back and lit a cigarette. You gods, what a beautifully laid plan it had all been. What a clever fellow Ivan was. Oh, sharp brain. He broke all the three doors: cell door, first door, second door, and the main gate. He cheated Stephens, he cheated Jackson, he cheated myself. Careless leaving that question paper behind. But then they all made their mistakes somewhere along the line. Well, almost all of them. And that is why, very, very shortly, Mr. Clever Evans would be back inside doing his once more. So here, governor says, Ivan is a very clever fellow. Intelligently, he planned the escape, but he had kept a clue to us. He forgot to take that paper from there. From that paper, we got the clue. Poor man. My dear Evans, you cannot cheat, Governor. Within seconds, you will be in the same place. I will catch you and I will bring you to the cell in the D wing. Let us see what happens in the next class. Okay, thank you.